Hello and welcome to another update video for Factory Default, Build, Trade, Repeat. This time we are going to be looking at version 0.0.9, the space station. We are going to be looking at all the new features added and changed in this new version, including the addition of the space station, the Trade Routes Overhaul, the Research Menu Overhaul, Resource Assignment Panel Overhaul, Steam achievements, as well as many small changes and bug fixes. If Factory Default seems like a game you would like to play, first link in the description will send you to the Steam page, where you can follow development before release. Alright, let's get into it. Now that the space elevator is complete, Uncle Ian has a bit of a PR issue. In order to ensure the space elevator stays standing, he needed to add a counterweight. It seemed most practical to grab an asteroid already moving through space and bring it to where we needed it. However, an asteroid looming in the sky, no matter how distant, has made much of the Western Hemisphere a bit nervous. His plan will solve two problems. 1. Replace the nerve-wracking sight of the orbiting asteroid, and 2. Reinforce our exclusive foothold in space, allowing for easier transport off of Earth and around the solar system. Getting the space station built requires the same mechanics as the space elevator. Oodles of supplies as always, with some new items exclusive to this phase. Aerospace glass, water tank, electric cart, and spacesuit. You will also need a vote passed allowing you to build the space station. This one will be significantly harder to secure than those that came before it, but by this point in the game it should be pretty easy to have all the resources ready. We'll jump ahead to the space station being complete. This, along with the space elevator, will be the driving force that allows the game to transition to mining around the solar system, but we'll have to wait for 0.0.10 for that to begin. A much needed change is the way that trade route information is presented to the player. Instead of only being able to manage a trade route from the departing tile, you can create, view, and edit all trade routes from the same screen. This shows you every trade route you have running, with some filters if you need them. As I mentioned, you can create trade routes from any of your transport buildings on this screen. Select your trade vehicle, and you will find a list of countries that have the required building. The first new option is fleet quantity. This way you can better find the sweet spot between the cargo space on various vehicles. For example, if you want to move 100 tons of something, before, doing so by truck would be super annoying, because you would have to set up 10 separate trade routes, or make the swap to a different trade type. Now, you can just ramp up the number of trucks you want on the route, and they will all travel together. This also means that if you max out a fleet of cargo ships, the maximum cargo space on a single trade route is now 2 million tons. The financial projections are now more accurate and give actually useful information. The best improvement, in my opinion, is the ability to mix cargo. Before, you could only load one single resource type aboard any trade vehicle. That made zero sense, and made some of the large vehicles impractical to use, specifically the ships with 200,000 ton cargo capacities. Now you can have as many different types of resources as you want. You also have the option to not use your full capacity. This could come in handy if you have contracts with odd amounts, and you are trying to limit overstock in the destination country. Because of this overhaul, I was able to also increase trade route efficiency. In previous versions, the first warehouse you build in a country is the destination tile for every other foreign warehouse. Now, when you select a destination, you will pick whichever warehouse is closer. The main reason for this is I wanted the trade route buildings to become destructible. I previously had to block the demolition of trade route buildings in order to not mess up active and en route trades. That's all fixed now, so if you happen to delete a trade building with a trade route anchored to it, you will get a warning pop-up. You will have the option to abort the deletion or cancel routes. If you have another building type that can accept those routes, you will also be given the option to auto-reroute with that demolition. The research menu was in need of a serious rework. With so many things to unlock, it was unclear where anything was. Even in the most recent version, unless you already knew what you were looking for, you were going to have a hard time. This newest version should solve all of those problems. Instead of endless branching trees, we have linear pipelines, 13 categories, with nearly all researches visible from the top. Hover over a research to find out more information about it, but there is no more confirmation screen that comes up giving you this info and asking if you want to confirm your choice. It is now one click to research. That brings us over to our third and smallest overhaul, and that is with the Resource Assignment panel. Before, you were just presented with a list of buttons, with minimal information and a slew of the buttons disabled. Now we have two separate columns. One for the items that are available, which will show you how much of that resource you can expect to produce at the base level. The other column is for items that you need to research before you can produce them. This also gives you the option to perform the research from here, rather than have to dive into the new research menu and find it. Some of the items will be several researches deep, which is why you will see a large amount of research points needed to unlock those several researches. I've added 125 Steam achievements for those that like to hunt them down. A couple you will stumble into. Most you will accomplish by playing deep into the game, including parts that are not yet implemented. Several will require quite a bit of effort to complete, and there are a couple just for fun. I've locked down the tutorial because it was too easy for players to accidentally soft lock themselves early on. Everything is locked until you decide if you want to play the tutorial or not. If you say no, everything will unlock, and you can play like normal. If you say yes, things will slowly unlock as you play the tutorial. About halfway in, the tutorial will allow you to make mistakes. If you start down the wrong path, it will be up to you to get back on track, or just exit out of the tutorial and play on your own. Moving over to some smaller changes, I updated the look of the contract nodes. This is because it was sometimes hard to tell what the status of a contract was, especially when you are notified that something is wrong. You would still have to do detective work to get it figured out. A blue contract means that it has not started. Green means that it is active and being fulfilled. Orange means that the contract is active and has received a penalty for not fulfilling it. Red means that the contract penalty has eclipsed the payout and you are now receiving fines directly to your bank account. Power plants now are open to having their workforce efficiency changed. You can fiddle with employee quantity, pay, and benefits. Because power plants are so overpowered, there is almost no reason not to boost that efficiency. However, because of these freshly OP power plants, I had to nerf the power payouts. First 10,000 megawatt hours is the same 100% value. 15,000 to 25,000 megawatt hours goes down from 60% value to 20%. 25,000 to 50,000 megawatt hours goes down from 36% value to 4%. 50,000 to 100,000 megawatt hours goes down from 21% value to 0.8%. Those numbers might seem like an insane nerf, and they are, but once you get your hands on power plants, you will see how the game could easily be renamed to Globe Full of Power Plant Simulator. Based on a viewer comment, I have made it so that resources that overflow from your warehouse have a double effect on the market. For example, selling 1,000 tons of coal may lower the price 5 cents. 1,000 tons of coal overflowing onto the streets will lower the price by 10 cents. Considering supply versus demand, giving away resources for free would affect both. There were also a whole bunch of optimization changes and bug fixes, including rewriting how trade vehicles are processed and reducing geometry of merged tile meshes as well as the 3D borders. If you are interested in the nitty-gritty on those, I welcome you to take a look at the patch notes. Lastly, let's talk about the future. The next phase of the Ultima Mundi project is setting up and getting approval for celestial mining, starting with mining on the moon. So what is needed for 0.0.10? Final General Assembly vote, building on the moon, mining and storage on the moon, trade routes through space, as well as regolith refinement recipes. These will be sequential, so mining on Mars will require resources from the moon. Mining on Venus will require resources from Mars, etc. I don't have a firm release date to announce just yet. I will say that 0.0.10 will enter the chrysalis of QA testing and emerge the 0.1 butterfly. 0.1 is the version that will be playable. So that does it for this update video. For factory default, build trade repeat 0.0.9. If Factory Default is a game that you would like to play, again I encourage you to take a look at the Steam page, linked in the description, give it a follow or a wish list if you want to be the first to know when the game becomes available. Until next time, this has been Chet, take care.